Knights Academy. Training's in session.
I do want to take a moment, though, guys, and just ask, what did you guys think of the adventure?
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I went
It was
10 and a half weeks, so...
I mean, it was enjoyable to work through.
I'm pretty sure that was probably my first dungeon.
That was a lot of people's first dungeon. I can tell it's
Yeah,
a
actually, I
little
was gonna
dated,
say.
because a lot of the traps and stuff were things that a lot of adventurers now are very aware of, and very keen to look out for. You guys actually circumvented some huge traps. I was telling Zach, like, one of the things when you guys were fighting the Oni, that liquid down there, if you guys had touched it, it required a dispel magic to get rid of it, and if not, the person dies. And Gruck, you were the one who almost fell into it. Like, there was
Luckily, I gave you advantage.
yeah, there was
For that
so
one.
many moments that you guys almost died, like that you guys didn't even realize how close you were to death. Whoa, what just happened?
I don't know what just happened.
On Skype, something just happened on Skype.
I gave like a weird snort out of my nose. Does that count?
Well, okay, no,
No, I can't.
Okay, no, it must have had me loaded out because I hit the button and it loaded me back in from scratch. So I don't know why.
Okay, yeah, I just went like weird angles on it.
Huh.
So yeah, but I can see that it's definitely one of the first dungeons ever made. So, 40 years of dungeons made thereafter have been based on things like this. So I can see why it's a little dated. But I thought it was a really good update for it.
It was fun.
So
Yeah.
it definitely took longer than I expected. I will not deny that. So it definitely was a longer adventure than I expected. But yeah, like overall, what would you give it? Like, let's say 1 to 5.
4.
Yeah, around there.
My experience is significantly more restricted, but a solid 3. I don't have a lot of other dungeons to compare it with.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't tend to
say
run
a
dungeons
4.
in my games. So
I like it if we're gonna do dungeons. I like them to last a while.
yeah,
That was
But-
a definite bonus in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it could have
I like-
lasted about 3 sessions less, because I was starting to get antsy about 7 gaming sessions of it, where I was like, okay, let's get back to the story, but because it was 10 and a half weeks.
I'm guessing some of that was because of the players too, because
Yeah.
our progress was pitifully slow for a good portion of it.
I think a normal group could probably get through this in like 3, maybe 4 gaming sessions, but you guys tend to roleplay very heavily, which I love. Do not get me wrong. That is my favorite part of this group. But it does mean it takes a little longer. So,
One thing I liked about it was that it was kind of balanced to a point with like roleplay, combat,
yeah.
searching.
Or like
playing,
he was able to
whatever.
get past some of the things with communication rather than fighting.
Yeah, that I
Yeah.
enjoyed too. It gets dungeons have a tendency to get a little more boring if it's just room combat, room combat, room combat,
Mm.
room puzzle combat, room combat.
Yeah.
Investigate, sneak, and kill. Yeah, basically.
Didn't you say that we could go through that whole dungeon without combat if we really tried?
You could go through the first floor without combat if you really try. After that,
Oh.
the things in the second floor are very hostile. So, you guys
Gotcha.
actually made it a good portion of the way through without any combat, though. So, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before you guys actually had any combat. So,
Yeah. I don't, it still feels weird to me that I am legitimately disappointed that I wasn't able to roleplay the death of my own character. I mean, considering you put me in that position of trying to convince everybody that the statue was nothing, and it's weird that I actually wish I would have been able to do better at that to, end my character's life.
don't sell yourself short, dude. You actually did an excellent job. Like Zach was telling me. Actually, Zach, if you could say, or you telling me?
Yeah, you did well, man. I mean, for example, when I first started to stab you, when I tried to stab you, I actually was 100% sure that you were an imposter, But by the end of it, I was around 20% or something.
So you did an excellent job for being impromptu and just like thrown in your lap. I thought that was a very good role play for doing.
Right.
So I very much enjoyed that. I was sad that Saxon and Vol were not there for that part of the role play because it would have been. I think if you two were there, that role play would have gone on a lot longer and been a lot more intense.
Yeah, way longer.
That's possible, definitely.